So welcome back. It is, Throwback Thursday, which is pretty cool. Another session here of Tell Me Something Good. But here's what's amazing. It is a throwback because Bruce Turkel, our guest today, and I have been friends for a year.
A long time.
A long, long time. Admire you for what you've done in sales and in marketing. You are the branding king. You shifted gears, as did I, to get into the speaking space, and where you were nominated or won the Hall of Fame speaker. So I admire you. I'm so happy that we finally get a chance to share you with my audience. Welcome, Bruce Turkel.
Thank you, Steve. I'm happy to be here. You're right. We've known each other a long time. I knew of you for a long time before I knew you. And people would always say to me, oh, you got to know Noodleberg. You must know him. You guys have the same energy. You guys do the same sort of thing. Because, of course, everyone thinks marketing, sales, promo, advertising is the same. They don't know the difference. You got to know this guy. And I remember the first time I met you, I said that to you. And you said, yeah, people tell me that. And we became like fast friends immediately.
And it's been wonderful because I've leaned on you. I've learned from you. We both shared the same struggles in our marketing business.
That's right. That's right. And same thing. I came to you. Hey, how do I do this? Hey, how come you're doing this and it works? And I'm doing this and it's not working? Yeah. You've been very generous with your time and your input. Thank you for that.
My pleasure. I mean, one of the rules in my book is you just got to give. It's been my mentality that it's always, the universe has given me back in ways that I could never have imagined. And it's not one for one, and it's not keeping score. But specific to you, I just learned so much just from watching you, your stage presence, the way you've captured an audience. And I remember driving over to Naples to see you speak to a small group, and I was like, that MFer really is good.
That was funny too, because I remember I'm doing that presentation and I'm going around the room and looking at people, and all of a sudden I go, Steve, what are you doing here? And it was like, speaking on stage is kind of an out-of-body experience, right? While you're busy speaking, you're also thinking, okay, that person's not paying attention. All right, send some love over there. Okay, oh, wait, what is she doing? Oh, hang on. While you're doing your talk. And that happens all the time. But in your case, it was just like, wait, what are you doing here? I remember that.
You were amazing. You were literally amazing. As you know, my favorite is how you incorporate music and get everybody, the kumbaya in that room was amazing.
Well, they did a study once. They asked Fortune 500 CEOs. These are the CEOs with companies that give them airplanes. I mean, so these folks, men and women, have made it, totally made it. And they said to them, okay, if you didn't have this job, what job would you want? Unbelievably, 98% of them said rock star.
No kidding.
8% of people want to be rock stars. Therefore, if I can play music, and more importantly, I can teach people in the audience to play music and then get up in front of their friends and play music, what's better than that? I actually make them rock stars. Sure, they're rock stars in front of the National Association of Fertilizer Reducers or something, but who cares? They love it. And it's such a fabulous energy, and it's such a fabulous opportunity for them. And also they realize at the end of it, wow, I can do that. I actually can do that. I can get up in front of people and play music, because I can teach them to play a song on the harmonica in about 5 minutes. And then I hit the old iPod and they're playing along with the most influential rock band in history. And they're looking at their friends and they're having.
What band is that?
Oh, come on. There's only one. There's lots of great bands, but the most influential is the Beatles. There's no question about that.
I know that. I'm just sure people out there know.
I used to say arguably, but then I decided, you know what? No, it's not arguable. That's it.
I mean, everybody came from what they did. I mean,
exactly.
So I use this format to, share something good. The world has enough negative going on in it on a regular basis, let alone this big layer of stress. So you've always been really positive. You've always been on the top side of how to look at brands and how they market and what they do. Your book, and I'm not a book reader. I get in and I skim and I do lots of stuff within the book. I never read a book cover to cover. Your book, All About Them, probably most defining book from a marketing guy. Hey, look at my boy.
I am a marketing guy. Come on. I didn't have it.
That actually speaks to the sales environment too. And the work I do specifically with leaders and, people in the sales space, they have a hard time understanding it's not about them. The same as the conversations we had when people were in a branding conversation and they go, well, this is what we think. And, so tell us about your book.
Well, it's quite simple. And you just laid it out very, very succinctly. I tell people at the beginning of a talk, your brand is not about you. And I throw that out there. And then I shut up. I just don't say a word for 5 seconds on stage, which, by the way, is really hard to do.
Yes, it is.
And I can see the wheels turning because they're all going, what do you mean my brand is not about me? It's about my company. It's about what we do. And then I do my hour presentation. And at the very end, I'll explain. And so this happens. Why? Because your brand is not about you. And now they hear the same thing they heard an hour earlier. However, they hear it with new ears because now they realize, if they paid attention, their brands, in fact, are not about them. Their brands are about their buyers, their customers, their consumers, and more importantly, how they make those customers feel. The only thing I want people to remember, other than, wow, that Bruce guy was awesome, because that always helps the next gig, right? But the only thing
too, and handsome too, right? And you got to
That's right. And fun, and I'd like to have a beer with him, and he's pretty smart. Right. All of it. However, the thing I want them to remember for their businesses is this. Good brands make people feel good. That makes sense, right? Look at my new Porsche. Look at my new Gibson guitar. Look at my new Apple Watch, whatever. Good brands make people feel good. But great brands make people feel good about themselves. And if you can do that as a brander or a salesperson, the sale happens automatically. The brand building happens automatically, because if you leave feeling good about yourself, like you leave my talk and you can play the harmonica, you just went for a 3-day workshop at some conference somewhere. The first thing you do when you get home and you see your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, let's get it right, peoples of same sex sharing living quarters, peoples of opposite sex sharing living quarters. I want to be politically correct.
Cover all the bases, man.
Everybody. The first thing you do you get home and you say, I learned how to amortize my tax structure across a multi-level? No, you go, look what I can do. Look what I can do. And then you whip out the harmonica and you play that Beatles song. And you feel good about yourself. And where do those feelings ultimately wind up? On me. That's my brand. My brand is making you feel good about yourself.
And you know what's so great about it? And I love the book, but it's so great because every sale happens because somebody likes that salesperson.
That's right.
I ask people all the time, I go, listen, when was the last time you bought anything of significance from somebody you did not like? And they'll go, oh, wow, never. Right. It's about how they feel. You can walk in there feeling great. It doesn't matter. So the parallels to you and brands, and you've worked with some of the greatest stuff and really creative, awesome, generated content. For me, when I work with salespeople, they're the brand. How you make people feel is what really they're buying. The solution comes afterwards. Because if you don't make them feel good, the conversation's over.
I just did a talk in San Diego for the USTA, the United States Tennis Association, and it was to their regional reps. These are the men and women, the folks who go out to tennis facilities, camps, clubs, and they bring everything the USTA offers: programming for elderly, silver sneakers, ways to get into the US Open, all the stuff the USTA does. And I was explaining to these reps, having that USTA brand behind you, all the product offerings, all the famous people, all of that is great. But here's the key. You walk onto the club, across the court into the clubhouse. The manager is at his computer or at her computer doing work, and she looks up and she either says to herself, oh, great, Steve is here, or she looks up and she goes, oh, man, and then tells the receptionist, look, tell Steve I'm busy, and goes in the back. And guess what? The USTA has very little to do with that. It's all about you. Now, if they need something from the USTA, fine, they'll meet with you or whatever. But if they say, wow, Steve's here, you've done your job. you've done your job. It is all about you.
And you know, it's fascinating. And has, to your point, it has nothing to do with product, price, or service. It has everything to do with you. And I think people forget that. They're more concerned with what they do rather than who they are. So, you know, I highly recommend your book to anybody to read. I know I had a whole box I gave out to people and got rave reviews. There's so much about you, what you do and how you do it that I admire. But you know, this thing about music, you know, I talk about it. I think it's a game changer. There are lots of stresses happening to the universe right now. And you have a way that you could probably make people feel good instantly. And it's with that little harmonica. Do you mind sharing something good with our audience?
I don't mind at all. I keep a case of harmonicas in my car. I keep some in my bags. I always have them with me because, you know, I play with people on the streets. I see, you know, a guy's trying to make some music street corner in Santa Monica. He's playing the guitar. He's singing songs. No one's putting money in his guitar case. No one's even looking at the guy. And he's an amazing harmonica guitar player. Then I'll get up. I'll say, hey, can I play with you? But I understand it's not about the notes you play. It's about how you relate to the people walking around. So I'll start playing. I'll make eye contact. I'll see a little girl. I'll reach into my bag and I have these little branded harmonicas that say Turkel brands on them. And I'll give her one. And all of a sudden we have 100 people and they're all throwing money into the case. I don't take any of it. That's not how I make my living. But I try to explain to people, it's not what you do, it's who you are. We all know guitar players. You see a bunch of guitars in my office. I'm a terrible guitar player. I have friends, virtuoso guitar players, virtuosos, but they can't make a living at it, right? Because there's only a few virtuoso guitar players you can name, let alone are actually making a living. Whereas the harmonica, if you can go, if you can do that, I see you boogieing right there. People can't sit still. They can't not smile. As soon as if I pull out a cello or a violin, you might not smile. Everybody smiles. Everybody says to me, oh my God, my grandfather used to play the harmonica. Or, oh my God, I had one of those when I was a kid. Everyone has a story. Everybody loves them. And you don't have to be good. You have to be fun. That's what it's all about. People don't buy what you do. They buy who you are.
Fascinating. And I've been in the room when you've done that with hundreds of people, and it's spectacular. And it is so unique because, you know, everybody tries to come up with some unique way to connect with the audience or get them up. And, you know, I have people talk about my energy and stuff like that, but the energy wears off when you leave. With you, the harmonica lives forever. I mean,
I would suggest that we can all do it. You just have to take a little bit of who you are and you have to give that to your audience. You said energy. I find that very interesting because when I'm done with a talk, people will come up to me and they go, oh my God, you were so energetic and enthusiastic. If I could just how do you do that? And I tell them, look, when I'm behind stage in the green room, I don't walk up to the mirror and say, okay, Bruce, here's your chance to go out there and remember, be energetic, be enthusiastic. It's just who I am. It's who you are, Steve. It's why we hit it off and bounced off each other. We share that energy. So I play the harmonica and I doodle a lot. That's pretty much it. But I can share those things with people. I can play music for them. I can draw pictures of them. Every one of us can do something. I don't care if it's baking banana bread. I don't care if it's bringing them something from your organic garden. I don't care if it's teaching them how to do a yoga pose. I don't care if it's reminding people to smile. You could give away fancy Italian sports coats. You know, we each have.
It's right here. I still have one.
That's what I know you for. That's your trademark. I have nice sport coats. No one's ever said, wow, that Bruce, he's got a lot of sport coats. But they do about you.
I actually spoke in South Carolina, and the people I spoke to, they were like bummed that the jacket wasn't loud.
Yeah, well,
freezing cold in South Carolina. I was like, I'll tone it down a little bit. And they go, oh, come on.
Oh, you got to bring yourself.
Yes.
You know, when they say bring your A game, there's always someone who's got a better game. Don't bring your A game.
Greenville, South Carolina and it was like 10 degrees. And I was like, but you're right. You know, that was a lesson for me because they had an expectation to be me, not alter me, you know.
And you brought something functional. You brought something to keep you warm. That's what a jacket does.
Correct.
But that's not who you are. You don't bring your A game, you bring your A you. You know, people say the key is be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. That's BS. Don't be yourself. Be a hyper realized version of yourself. Be the most you can be. That's what they want from you. If they want the guy in the blue blazer, the white shirt, and the red tie, they'll call someone else.
They'll call someone else. You're right.
They ain't calling you.
It's so fascinating because I have a lot of sales professionals who like say to me, man, I just want to be just like you. And I go, you can't be me. I'm me. You have to be the best you can be. That's what good coaching, good training is, making you the best you can be. And to your point, if you're the best at making banana bread, then you're going to connect with all the people that love banana bread. And, you know, so it's a fascinating mind trick because everybody looks at somebody else and says, oh, I'd like to be that. You know, I think that's what made, you know, famous people. It's like, you have no idea what happens to famous people other than what you see. You know, who are they really? So I love the dialogue. It's fantastic.
Oscar Wilde said, be yourself, everyone else is taken.
Awesome.
And it makes so much sense.
It does.
But take what that is about you and blow it out. Mark Twain said the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you figure out why. Right. Now, the truth is we have no control over the first, and you'll probably never really figure out the second. But if you can figure out why you matter, the way I say it is figure out what your superpower is and spend as much time and energy promoting that. And the stuff you don't do so well, unless the stuff you don't do well is like, I can't stop taking heroin. Okay, you probably shouldn't work on that.
Not going to work. That's not good.
Right, not good. As Mel Brooks said, stop that. That's not good. Right. But the things you're not good at, I'm not good at doing accounting. You know what? I hire an accountant.
Right.
I'm not good at updating my website. I hire an IT guy. I can do it. It just takes me a really long time. But I'm better off doing what I can do. You're better off doing what you can do. And so is every single person who's in our audience today. Take whatever it is that makes you, and blow it out. By the way, if you don't know what that is, just ask your friends. They know. They see it every day.
It's so true. So, you know, it's fascinating. Our concepts, our material is so linear. It's so the same. I remember there was a time when we sat down with our agencies and we realized you and I were the same person. We were like,
yeah, and our partners were the same. And our partners were the same also.
That's exactly right.
Remember, we had yin and yanged our business.
Right.
We did what we did, and then we found someone to do what we didn't do. Yeah, something like that. And you did the same thing, and I did the same thing. So if we were the same person, it made sense that our partners were the same person.
That was fascinating. I love that. Love that exercise. So I'm really glad that you got to spend time. We got to spend time together. Every time I do, I feel better. You make me feel good about me, and that's cool. If you're going to leave the audience with one more, tell me something good. One little thing. Is there anything more that you can share, or are we already good?
No, I will tell you, Charlie Chaplin. I just read a quote by Charlie Chaplin. He said, nothing lasts forever, even our troubles. So whatever it is you're freaked out about, move on. It's going to end. Nothing lasts forever, even our troubles.
Well, I beg everybody in my audience to follow you. Hopefully they get the opportunity to see you live in a real place again. Right. But for the time being, this will do. Thank you. You know, if you ever need me, I'm here.
Yeah, the problem is you're far away, but I will make it up there at some point.
Look at the power of technology. Look at us.
I got you. Come on down here anytime you'd like. I'm here for you.
Count on it, man. Thank you, my friend. You be well. Be safe.
All right. Bye-bye.